Then you hear it. Beneath the static. Beneath the static. Beneath the outrage. Beneath the outrage. Beneath the endless scroll. Beneath the endless scroll. There's a signal. There's a signal. The signal that cuts through the noise. Through the noise.
Every new day.
Everybody selling truth under neon lights.
The screens got smarter, the people got tired, the experts got louder, the trust expired, the matrix got upgraded, the code stayed the same. Everybody wants the spotlight, nobody wants to blame. Fight Club in the comments, network on repeat, where it's mad as hell but still glued to our seats. The usual suspects keep selling the show, while the people in the middle just want to know. 1984 calling, brave new world smiling. One sells fear, one sells comfort. Both keep you compliant.
The signal remains.
MTV remains. MTV raw.
Real, rational.
The signal that cuts through the noise. MTV raw.
Real, rational.
ENDstream live. Obey signs in the distance, the billboards still glow. The messages are hidden in the places we know. American psycho business apocalypse now. Pace, fear and loathing headlines written all over the place. Falling down traffic, everybody's late. Trying to keep their balance in the permanent state of updates of outrage of manufactured trends. Y2K never ended, it just changed its name. Now we're all online inside a different game.
Every new day, it starts again.
The bird is the word.
Don't push us.
We've already got the edge. Remember the dial-up tone? Remember the dial-up tone?
Remember the chat rooms?
Remember when the internet,
Still felt like the future.
before the bots, before the brands,
Before every moment.
became content?
Before the algorithm feed.
From dancing baby gifs to doom scrolling feeds, from message boards and modems to algorithm memes. The memes got sharper, the jokes got strange. The world's moving faster, but the questions remain. Cold War ghosts, digital dreams, attention merchants selling tomorrow's schemes. Who's riding the script? Who's pulling the strings? Who's selling tomorrow and who's buying these things?
MTV asks the questions.
MTV keeps the signal alive.
The X-Files were warning us. The truth stayed hidden still. Now the aliens trend weekly between another culture war drill. Idiocracy laughing from the cheap seats again, while common sense gets fact-checked by a panel of 10. MTV asks why.
Not the end of the world.
The end of the illusion.
The signal remains.
MTV remains.
Every new day.
Pump up the volume.
MTV,
MTV.
raw, real, rational.
The signal remains.
The bird is the word.
Pump up the volume.
ENDstream live.
We are live.
We are live.
We are live.
Don't push us.
We've already got the edge.
MTV,
Every new day.
the bird is the word. The end is the beginning.
Welcome to NTV, and you just tuned in to the ENDstream. I am your host, Edge, and welcome. Welcome to another ENDstream. We have a lot to cover today. And before we start, I just want to let everyone know we're currently simultaneously streaming on YouTube, on Rumble, and on Kick. Just give me a sec so I can show you guys. So over here is our YouTube channel where we have shorts, live videos, previous videos, a lot of like interviews. We cover different topics like culture, humanistic, also what's going on in the world. We're also on Rumble and on Kick, and our socials are on Instagram, on X, on TikTok, and on Discord. So be sure to leave us a like, subscribe, comment, and let's get into today's stuff. But before we do, give me a sec. Today we have a lot to cover. We have a lot of things to cover. So before we get into everything that's happened over the last week, from the NATO summit in Ankara, Turkey, to the situation with Iran, AI replacing jobs and everything else, I just want to start with a movie that came out nearly 40 years ago. You're like, oh my God, boomer. But if you've seen the thumbnail, you'll know that I'm talking about the movie called They Live. And that's also why I was wearing the glasses before. You know, I don't normally wear sunglasses inside. So, and no, this isn't going to be one of those streams where I tell you politicians are actually aliens or something crazy like that. That's not the point. The movie They Live is, well, I see it as a metaphor, and I think it's one of the best metaphors ever made for understanding power, propaganda, and the way information shapes the world around us. But give me a sec. I see a slight glare over here. Let me see if I can fix that real quick. No, it's still there. Why is it happening? Anyway, let me see. Let me just give me one moment. Technical difficulties. Maybe it's my screen. I'm not sure. Anyway, let's just get into it. So I also have a picture over here. Hang on. Why is it not showing? Here, over here. So we have obey, consume, no thought, buy. And I'm going to talk to you a bit about this. So, just a sec, I'm just opening the links. All right, They Live came out in 1988, and it was directed by John Carpenter. On the surface, it's a pretty simple sci-fi action movie starring Roddy Piper, who was actually a professional wrestler. He plays a drifter named John Nada. So Nada, he's a Nada. He's like a zero. And like it's like who is this guy? Is Nada. It's kind of like Odysseus in the Odyssey, you know? When the Cyclops asked him, "Who are you?" he said, "Nobody." But then afterwards, he let his ego. Anyway, so he plays a drifter named John Nada who stumbles across a pair of ordinary-looking sunglasses. But when he puts them on, he suddenly sees the world completely different. Billboards that normally advertise products suddenly just say things like obey, consume, marry, and reproduce. Magazine covers become blank commands, and even money has the words, "This is your God," written across it. It's one of those movie moments that sticks with you because it's such a clever way of showing how messages can be hidden in plain sight. Then he notices something even stranger. Some of the people walking around aren't actually human. They're these strange alien creatures disguised as businessmen, politicians, television presenters, police officers, people in positions of influence. Again, the point isn't that Carpenter believed powerful people were literally aliens. The aliens are symbolic. They're a way of representing systems of power that most people never notice because they've become normal. That's why the sunglasses are so important. They don't give Nada superpowers or anything like that. They don't make him smarter. They just let him see what was already there. One of my favorite details in the movie is that once Nada can see them, the aliens can also see that he can see them. Oh, one sec. One of my favorite parts is this.
I've got one that can see.
I've got one that can see. Right. Okay. Suddenly, he's a threat. There are scenes an alien quietly speaks into a little wrist communicator, basically a smartwatch decades before smartwatches existed, and tells the others that someone has spotted them. It's such a cool idea because it shows there's this hidden network operating right alongside normal society, and most people have absolutely no idea it's there. There's also that famous fight scene between Nada and Frank in the alley. It's ridiculously long. I think it's like 6 minutes, but it's actually one of the most important scenes in the movie. So it's these guys. And so Nada is basically trying to convince the guy on the right that these shades work and stuff. Okay, Nada isn't trying to beat Frank up because he hates him. He's trying to get him to put the sunglasses on. Frank keeps refusing because once you see the world differently, you can't really go back. It's kind of like the red pill. I think that's one of the best metaphors in cinema. Sometimes getting someone to even consider another perspective is harder than any physical fight. Towards the end of the movie, we discover there's a broadcast signal being transmitted from the top of a building that keeps the aliens hidden from everyone. When that signal is destroyed, everyone instantly sees reality for themselves. Whether you interpret that as media, propaganda, advertising, social pressure, politics, or something else entirely is completely up to you. That's the beauty of the movie. It doesn't tell you exactly what to think. It just asks you the question of what you're looking at. And that's why I think it's still relevant today, not because I think we're living in they live, literally, but because the questions it asks are timeless. Who controls the narratives? Who benefits from the stories people believe? How much of our worldwide view comes from things we've chosen ourselves? And how much comes from television, social media, politicians, again, corporations, or algorithms deciding what we see every day? So that's really the theme of today's stream. We're going to talk about media narratives and the big geopolitical stories everyone is talking about. I'm not saying the movie predicts any of this. I'm saying it gives us a really interesting way to think about it. Consider this live stream our pair of sunglasses. Let's put them on and take a look at what's been going on this week. Here at NTV, I'll be breaking down the biggest stories shaping the world right now, from the latest NATO summit and rising global tensions to the mystery surrounding a missing Boeing 737, the future of AI, the battle over technology and surveillance, and the stories the internet can't stop talking about. This is where we connect the dots, separate the noise from the facts, keep it real, and look beyond the headlines. NTV is the signal that breaks through the noise. I still have this glare. What about? Get involved in the chat, share your thoughts, let us know what you think, because the biggest stories are happening every day. Just give me a second. Let's fix this. Do you see a line here? I'm asking the comments. Let me know. A glare, right. I have an idea. Let me put the big light on. Sorry about this. Doesn't work. Yeah, I'm really not sure why there's the glare. Strange stuff. Just give me a sec. Just give me a sec. Fatality. Fatality. Oh, I think I know what it is. We're going to fix this. We are going to fix this thing. Well,
The signal.
okay, that's it. That's it. We did it. We did it. Yay. Fantastic. All right. Great. So we're going to get into the news. Just bear with me. I'm just opening some windows real quick. And let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right. Over here, we have a news headline by Trump. Trump tells the world that Iran scum want to assassinate him. I'm the number one target. Let's have a look what he has to say.
Leaders are gone. They had leaders, they're gone. And they had another set of leaders, they're gone. Now they have another set of leaders, they may be gone. Who knows? And you know what? I may be gone too, because I'm their number one target. It's out all over the place. I'm their number one because they're scum. You know, the life of a president is very dangerous. It's 5.2%. You know what a race car driver is?
Hi guys, it's Cash here.
And okay, all right, let's move on. Basically, just give me a sec. I got a comment saying the volume should be higher or lower. I just want a clarification. Yep, Donald Trump. That's right. Donald Trump on Wednesday said he remains a target for assassin by Iran as he concluded a whirlwind day at North Atlantic Treaty Organization summit in Ankara with his ceasefire deal with Tehran in shambles and oil prices spiking across the globe. Didn't Trump say multiple times that the ceasefire is over? Like, what's up with that? What's up with that? I don't get it. All right, let's move on. He did, right? Another article. This, like before that was from The Independent. Now this is from Reuters. You know, few media outlets that we have in the world. What's up with that? Titled, US and Iran launch new strikes and Trump tells NATO deal with Tehran is over as it happens. So which is it? Which is it? Did they launch strikes or is the deal like he said the deal was over as in it had finished, not that because they launched strikes, it's over. Like, get your facts straight. Like, what's going on? To be honest, nobody has any idea what is going on, what the deals are between these countries. The only people that know are the actual governments, to be honest. So here it says, Trump speaking at NATO in Turkey said the interim deal reached with Iran last month was over and the US was likely to launch further strikes. What the hell is going on? What are we supposed to believe on this? What the hell? Okay, just give me a sec. My co-host Bird is sending me a link to share with you guys. So let's have a look at this. What is this? Is it this one? I hope it's this one. It might not be this one. All right, this is John McCain, not the fries. I can't hear.
What should we be looking for in our next president? Certainly someone who is very, very, very old.
Senator John McCain, 2 months after winning the 2008 Republican Party nomination.
Okay, apparently this is the wrong video. All right, let's have a look.
Bomberan, you know, bomb. Anyway,
I would be launching airstrikes not only in Iraq.
Man, I don't want us to get censored just because of John McCain.
But in Syria.
Bomberan.
Aid to the Contras.
Bomberan.
Aid to the Contras.
When I search John McCain on YouTube, the biggest thing that comes up is you singing bomb, 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 Iran. 744,000 hits, in case you haven't checked it recently. Are you proud or embarrassed of that?
I'm proud. Look, when I'm in the company of veterans.
Yeah, exactly. The hypocrisy of all it. Exactly. All right, let's move on. This was from the 23rd of June, but it says downed U.S. pilot reported seeing Iranian drones swarm in a jellyfish formation. Like, what kind of technology do they have that we don't know about? I mean, this over here, it says this photo by Iranian state media shows a burnt-out wreckage of several aircraft about 50 kilometers from the Iranian city of Esfahan on the 5th of April. To be honest, who knows what's going on over there? I mean, we would expect the United States to have high technology and everything, superior technology to Iran, but apparently there are casualties on all sides. So, yeah. And this guy was in an F-15, so which they're currently upgrading, to be honest. Yep, all the money is going somewhere. That's correct. All on defense. Let's keep going. Another article from The Guardian. Trump gives Zelensky vague promise of license to manufacture Patriot missiles. So what's going on in NATO? License would be diplomatic coup for Kyiv, but process of making munitions would likely be expensive, complex, and long. Zelensky again, like asking for weapons, asking for money, Donald Trump has told Zelensky that Ukraine may be allowed to manufacture Patriot missile interceptors to counter Russian ballistic attacks. It would be a diplomatic coup for Kyiv, which has been struggling to counter Moscow's increasing missile threat. The US president's commitment, however, was vaguely framed, and he admitted he had not spoken to the US defense and aerospace companies Lockheed and RTX Corporation, formerly Raytheon. Raytheon changed their name to RTX. I know RTX from the NVIDIA graphic cards. What's up with that? That produced the Patriot system. So we have Raytheon and Lockheed. So Trump is saying stuff to Zelensky, but Trump didn't even talk to these like defense contractors or anything like that. So it's like a big nothing burger. But, you know, Zelensky is still on it, asking for money, asking for weapons, asking for all these things, as usual. Let's move on. Updates. Trump leaders in Turkey's Ankara as defense tops agenda. What a surprise. What a surprise. All these people love the money. They're all in it for the money. It's like Jerry Maguire. Show me the money. Show me the money. Show me the money. I can't hear you. Show me the money. Woo. All right. I sealed the deal. Yes. Hear that money coming. Right, so this website updates on its own. So let's have a look, because I don't know what the latest thing is. I mean, it's probably the same. Oh, it says this live page is now closed. All right, let's have a look. So Trump is considering lifting sanctions and selling Ankara F-35. So that's to Turkey. All right. I mean, there was a whole deal with Turkey, like getting planes from Russia. And then the States said that in order to sell F-35s to Turkey, that Turkey needs to like return the planes to Russia or something or the other. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't know what's going on. But of course, Trump has like kind of represents these defense contractors and everything. More sanctions. Where do you see the sanctions here? Sanctions. Sanctions. I didn't see any sanctions. Did you see sanctions? I don't know. Oh yeah, another thing in NATO, another nothing burger. Danish Prime Minister Frederiksen said she expects allies to respect Denmark's sovereignty and accept that Greenland is not for sale, after Trump again said the US should control the territory. Norway says it would provide 3 billion Norwegian crowns, which is $300 million, for Ukraine's air defense, specifically to defend against ballistic missiles. Defend against ballistic missiles. That's a lot of money. Like, where is this money actually going? Here we go again. On my own. Dun, dun. Yeah. Okay. So 5 NATO members are projected to meet the alliance goal of spending 3.5%. Well, Trump said he wants 5%. Netanyahu said he opposes the prospect of F-35 to Turkey, saying it would destroy the balance of power in the Middle East. So apparently there's some beef going on with Netanyahu and Erdogan. And all right, here it says, Trump says he tested NATO allies over Iran support. I mean, I don't know if this song is censored, but apparently this is an F-35. They're talking about Turkey.
Trump said he would soon make a determination on the sale of US F-35 fighter jets to Turkey.
Well, it's a decision we're going to make. We have a very good relationship. I would think that many people, I can tell you, many people, including the people sitting right here, thinks, why wouldn't we do that? We have a better relationship with Turkey, and Turkey's been in many ways much more loyal than other countries that we think.
Well, of course you have a good relationship. You're selling planes like on behalf of these defense contractors. You're getting all the money.
Would be loyal.
Exactly. All those men in suits making decisions that affect every human being, and all of them completely useless, brain dead retards. Sorry. Useless guys sitting in that lavish room with all these like leather flowers, all these reporters. I mean, check out this thing at the back, this cabinet. It's like gold. There's even a vase over here ready to be knocked down. I mean, this is in Turkey, okay? But like, imagine the White House. There's also like some gold pot. I mean,
so yeah, it's something certainly we would consider. It's a great plane. It's the best. Currently the best plane by far.
Oh, I forgot like one link. Okay, but I have to look it up. Sorry. So Macron and Erdogan's wife. I mean, what's Macron up to again? Okay, let's have a look. Let's go. I mean, maybe he's just asking for like another pounding or something. So, he went to kiss Erdogan's wife's hand, but obviously, she's Muslim. She's all covered up, let alone why would she like receive a kiss from Macron on the hand? Anyway, Trump says a lot of unity at NATO summit after lashing out at allies. So which is it? I mean, are you against them or with them?
There was tremendous unity in that room.
You're playing good cop, bad cop?
And I urge all nations to accelerate their plans to get the benchmark as quickly as possible.
Look at all these boomers.
The benchmark is going to be that 5% number. That's the number it should have been for years.
I said that. All right. I'm not that it should have been for years. That's that he said he wants 5%. All right. He also says that NATO summit Spain is a wasted cause. I mean, yeah, because they didn't want to spend on defense. But then he declares there was love and unity. Kind of reminds me of Love and Light. Trump says U.S. will help Ukraine produce Patriot missiles. I mean, he didn't really say that. Like, that's not what the other article said.
You just don't get it, do you? You don't.
So yeah, this is Dr. Evil, as you can tell.
It's no hassle. But all I'm saying, they're gonna get a...
So everybody should just shut the hell up at these like meetings. If they don't have anything good to say, why even attend them? We're spending all this money on all these planes and meetings and food and hotels and all this stuff. It's completely wasted. In this day and age, we have Zoom meetings. Just do it on Zoom. Stop charging us money for complete irrelevant BS. Thank you. All right, let's move on. Major search underway after Boeing 737 vanishes and loses contact with air traffic control. Okay, let's have a look at this plane. So there was a 737 cargo plane that lost contact over the Arabian Sea. It was traveling from the UAE, that's where Dubai is, to Pakistan, where it descended rapidly after fluctuating in altitude. And there were 5 crew members on board. Right. Let's move on over here. Funny enough, this is Lad Bible, and yet it has like quite decent news. We'll see a few links later on. Plane mysteriously vanishes. Okay, the same stuff. K2 Airways. And over here, they have like the map. It looks like something I do in Paint, like with the lines. All right, let's move on. Over here, it says, pilots warning final message before plane went missing as wreckage found. So experts say the last message from the pilot was what? Let's have a look. Plane dropped 5,000 feet in less than a minute. Ascended 6,000 feet in less than 30 seconds. Before appearing to drop 36,500 feet. And then contact was lost. And then afterwards, we have this tweet, or should I say X post. After 12 hours of search and rescue, man, what happened? In the deep sea, have successfully located an unidentified wreckage, which was declared missing last night. The wreckage was recovered from 53 nautical miles south of Ormara. Let's have a look where this is. Ormara. It's a town in Pakistan. All right, let's move on. Let's just keep going. Keep going, bro. We got this. All right, so on to freakish news now. And I didn't want to report on this, but I feel I had to because it is so upsetting and so disgusting. Like we've seen horror movies, like some of us, and it says family of woman found in house with 16 children living like feral animals. She speaks out after claims she was indoctrinated. I mean, how far can you indoctrinate people? So here it says, an estranged relative of a Ohio House of Horrors mom, Elizabeth Siders, has spoken out in light of the distressing revelations. Apparently, 16 kids were recently discovered living in truly disgraceful conditions in the U.S. town of Hamden, leading to the arrest of 4 adults on 16 counts of child endangerment. All 4 pleaded guilty on the 1st of July. This includes Elizabeth herself and family members, who are each being held. Well, okay, these people are guilty, or allegedly guilty. I have to be careful what I say, and held on $300,000 cash bond each. And Ronnie Fletcher, an uncle to all 16 children, geez, between 18 months and 18 years, cannot fathom how hideously things deteriorated at this property. I mean, it's a huge shit show. And it's pretty sad, like what is going on. I guess these people are the guilty ones. These people are behind bars. Gary Siders Sr. and Christina Siders, they don't look too good. This guy has a problem with his eye. And yeah, it's something like out of X-Files. It says if you're facing these issues, call these like numbers. What can I say? It's terrible. This, like my co-host says, this happens more than normal. It's heavily underreported. We hear stories in different countries of people being locked in their houses, like despite their will, or hold like slaves or torture. There's like 8 billion people on the planet. There are so many stories that go completely unnoticed. There's even a series which is called what is it? Unresolved Mysteries, something like that. It's where people don't get caught for their crimes. Anyway, let's move on. So
Actually done, and you got to run away while you.
This guy is talking about Europe. There's so many things in Europe that are going on right now against the people. People do not have a say in so many things. Let's have a look what he has to say.
Are actually still allowed. So Europe is gonna censor the internet, and you need passport for internet access, supposedly because of children, this and that. But in reality, they just want to control you. They want to control what you do, what you watch, what you click. And you know, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, Dubai, you know, there is no rights of human beings." Blah blah. Look at Europe. What are you still doing in Europe? What do we have? Cash over 10,000 euro banned. Bitcoin needs ID over 1,000 euro. Privacy coins banned. Mika kills 90% of crypto firms. No crypto for Europeans. Passport for internet access. And I'm not even talking about taxes, immigration issues. Instead of squeezing people like this, they could have at least fixed immigration and the crime rate and kidnappings rate. But no, instead they choose.
It's interesting he mentions kidnappings because, you know, like all of these issues are completely heavily underreported. We're talking about crypto, we're talking about money, we're talking about how much people can do, how much people can withdraw or share with others and stuff. There's so much regulation and control.
To go a step further and block you from fucking internet. So if you want to, you know, live freely for once, leave Europe because it's going to die.
How worse is it gonna get? This is my question. This was a video on X from Thomas.
Europe is officially done.
I assume he could be Polish, but still, like it is. He's completely right. Let's have a look at some of the comments. Actually, yeah, people are saying not everyone has the opportunity to leave. That's right. That's completely right. All right, let's have a look. Let's keep going. Oh, more about the EU. Forgot about this video. Let's have a look.
So the European Union just announced a new age verification system, but people already found a way to hack it in under 2 minutes. See, the EU is rolling out a new age check app where you upload your ID and biometric data just to be able to use social media apps. And this is because they're regulating access over there for the sake of protecting the kids, which everybody knows that's not really the case. But now the app isn't officially out yet, but the president of the EU Commission already confirmed that it's basically ready to launch and even compared it to the COVID passport app from a few years ago. But this is where things get bad, because the new app is open source, so people have been digging through the code, and a security researcher named Paul Moore actually showed how easy it is for a hacker to break into and access all your information in less than 2 minutes. But what's even worse is that apparently the app was so poorly developed that it was also storing your biometric data and your user selfies completely unencrypted in the device, which is a huge problem for an app that's supposed to handle your identity online. Now, the EU says that the app isn't mandatory yet, only if social media companies provide a system that's similar to it, but at that point, I honestly don't know which one's worse.
Wow. Wow, that's terrible. I don't know what to say. Let's keep moving. Dark side of Dubai, as Brits are being arrested with life-changing consequences for ordinary mistakes. Well, we all know Dubai has it's pretty strict on their rules and stuff. Like, I don't think you can hold hands or kiss in public. Things are different over there. It might be related to religion. Let's have a look. Let's have a look what's going on. What can we discover? Apparently, Poppy Owen, 34, a creative director and content creator from North Wales, moved to Dubai with her partner and 2 children and absolutely loves it. She says, I was the worst version of myself in the UK, unhappy, overweight, and didn't help that most of the year was awful weather. Okay. I was also in the 40% tax bracket and paying 20% VAT and had no confidence in the government. And apparently she likes the lifestyle in Dubai. But let's have a look. What else is going on? On the 22nd of June, 26, on the 22nd of June, 2026, British national Brooke George, 23 from Kent, was arrested and charged with premeditated murder, out of all things, and now faces death by firing squad if convicted. George says she acted in self-defense after a man she traveled to Dubai to meet after starting an online relationship suddenly became abusive. Ryan Pepper, 27 from Kent, was also detained on the 3rd of November in 2025 without explanation and remains in custody over 7 months later. Pepper has allegedly been beaten, psychologically abused, and threatened while in prison. Speaking to Lad Bible, detained in Dubai founder and CEO Radha Sterling explains how completely different the legal system is to the UK and how dangerous it can be for the Brits and the Gulf nation. Now, I think I have to be very careful with what I say over here. And that is, first of all, when you go to another country, you have to respect their laws and rules and everything. Okay. But the thing with Dubai is that, sure, I'm sure there are a lot of great opportunities and people have made it big there. People have made friends and, you know, things are calm and respectful and stuff. However, you always get, aside from the good apples, there are some bad apples. And bad apples can take form in different things, in different ways. So Dubai has, especially a lot of locals, but it has a lot of rich people. But then again, it also has a lot of poor people, which are kind of like slaves, like from India and stuff. But this isn't the video for me to get into that. However, there have been cases where these like supermodels or something were thrown, like bodies of them were discovered in the desert or something like that. I don't remember exactly what the case was, but I do remember reading upon this like years ago. So yeah, let's have a look here.
Influencer facing by firing squad in 2026. So obviously, I wanted to know everything about this case and how we even landed here. Because apparently she thought that she found the perfect online romance. And instead, just weeks after landing in Dubai, her boyfriend had his life taken. She was sitting in jail, charged with that crime, and she was claiming that she acted in self-defense. Now she's facing one of the toughest legal systems in the world. So let's break down what exactly happened. Survived an abusive attack and acted in self-defense. Abusive, and that little things started making her feel like something was not right whatsoever. So one of the biggest red flags was apparently discovering that he'd only booked her a one-way ticket to Dubai. Into this, it's a way bigger mess than what I guess the influencer headline seems, and her entire future now depends on what a court decides happened during a matter of minutes. It's not every day you wake up and you see
This video is by Atozi on YouTube. It was posted 7 days ago and it almost has 1 million views.
Influencer facing.
So
the case was open and shut.
So since she said that she was abused or facing abuse, sure, it doesn't mean that she has to kill the guy, but the issue is what kind of abuse is going on. And the legal system over there, I mean, maybe men are allowed to do stuff to women. I don't know the legal system. I'm not a lawyer or something like that. But it seems like she was going through a lot.
But I don't think this case is that straightforward because once you look into this, it's a way bigger mess than what I guess the influencer headline seems like, which is why I wanted to cover this story. Because obviously you have to consider Brooke's injuries, her family's account, and the allegations of abuse. The argument on that side is that the investigators should be treating her as a possible victim of domestic violence rather than assuming that she was the aggressor here. The problem is the public still doesn't have very many answers that would normally help make sense of a case like this. Like we have.
All right, one thing I just want to make clear, like my co-host has just mentioned to me, is that we still don't know the entire extent of the situation right now. It's just allegations, but in reality, the law is very different in the Gulf and leans towards men. Like, that is undisputed. And that's the trouble. They keep it all hushed. And to be honest, all these feminists out there, you don't see them all talking so much about the Middle East, do you? I'm just saying, and all these like Muslim women all over the world, like, how much are they speaking out about rights in the Middle East? Like, that's BS. That's BS. Like, if you're a woman, speak out to other countries. There's the internet. Speak out what's going on. If you're facing abuse, talk about it. This needs to come out. This needs to come out. You need to set the example so that these things don't happen. Exactly. I don't think it's right that men have the upper hand in these countries, but it's like we need to see each case individually because not all cases are the same. We can't generalize, but in general, like, that is the case, that men have the upper hand. And man's word goes above the woman in certain cases, or should I say probably most cases in the Middle East. So yeah, check out this video. It's interesting. Let's see what developments there will be. I mean, surely, you can see why he spelt this word with a 3 or a symbol instead of an E. You can't really say these words because they're censored by YouTube. So yeah, justice is broken in most places, even in the West. That's true. Right, let's move on. Over here, Colombia passes first law in Latin America to eradicate female genital mutilation. I mean, is this thing still going on in the world? Like, that's messed up. Like, I am completely against, like, personally, I'm against, like, all genital mutilation. Like, this is just so stupid. It's just so wrong. And here it says, an achievement driven by indigenous women. This progress is historic, not only because of its substance, but also because of the process that made it possible. Indigenous women, particularly from the Embera people, have led years of advocacy demanding that the state recognize FGM as a human rights violation and take action to prevent and eradicate this. And good on them. And we need to commend these sort of people. These people are role models, to be honest. I mean, you would think it would be common sense, but it's not, because many countries around the world practice it. And I'm not even going to speak of a certain country that does it to men that I personally disagree with, but in their religion, they allow it. And it seemed like completely normal. Even I was told that these people who are a big, not minority, but a large segment in the American population, like, as if they do this procedure by default in hospitals. Like, if you're circumcised, for example, I don't have a problem with it, or if you wanted it or whatever, but I just think it's wrong to do it to babies, like, without consent and stuff like that. Like who, like Nigel Farage said, who are you? All right, I just have a link from my host. Let's have a look. Let's check this real quick. Man, over here, why is it not doing it properly? So this is in Hubei, China. Apparently all these massive crates and vehicles are being blown away. It's like this huge tornado going on. That is big. That is terrible. That was from The Guardian. So yeah, that was on the 6th of July. China, with all that tech advancement, not taking care of the environment. Like, I mean, look at extreme weather. Like, they can't do anything about that. That was pretty interesting. All right, let's move on to tech. EU surveillance. EU again. EU again. Like, who would have thought? Who would have thought? Yeah. Trucks were flown 30 meters in the air. That is crazy. That's like something out of the Wizard of Oz's intro or end. That's crazy. Like, usually we hear these things in the USA, like in some remote areas, like the movie Twister, with like people hiding in shelters and bunkers under their houses because their house will be blown away, kind of like the Three Little Pigs. But yeah. All right, let's move on. EU surveillance paradise. Cars sold in the EU will require a camera that scans the driver's face to determine if they are distracted. Why? Like, why are we even learning how to drive at this point? Why are there driving licenses? Chat control is being pushed through. It would allow the EU to scan all private chat messages to citizens. Why? Why is this happening? Why is nobody saying, why are you doing this? And where is this information going? Why is this happening? Age verification, which requires users to prove their age with a selfie and ID, which is also about to be implemented. You know, I'm an adult. I have nothing to fear. But it's like, why can't I access anything on the internet? Like anything. What if somebody wanted to watch porn, for example? I'm just saying. I'm not saying I watch it, but I'm just saying, why would they have to show their ID? Like, what is this restriction? Well, if I wanted to go on WhatsApp or Facebook or register on any new social media or on X, I need to show my ID.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Why do I need to provide my credentials, my ID, my everything to like some random company that has to deal with ID, or these companies, like the social media companies themselves, because it's likely they won't keep our info, but some other company is going to collect all this info. And supposedly, like if you have an ID card, if you have a passport, if you have a bill with an address, likely it's all digital now. All of this is sensitive information. And then this stuff is going to have like a data breach, a data leak, and then everybody would have to make all their IDs all over again. And it's just this huge like mess. And because there's no customer service or no real people anymore, then people will be chatting to AIs. And it's just so dumb. It's just so dumb and so expensive. And you have to make everything so complicated. Like there's the GDPR, there's the two-factor authentications. Like even if you use a VPN these days, like the EU doesn't want people to use VPNs. They want people restricted. The EU doesn't want people to use crypto. They want people to be stuck in their own banking system because it doesn't benefit them. I am so sick and tired of this EU BS. Like, how much power are we going to give them? Is it because they're over so many countries that people feel powerless? It's like as if people are living in that movie They Live. Like people are not seeing what's right in front of their eyes. Like, wake up, you mother. Like, just wake up. Look what's going on. It's worse than 1984. It's worse. They're looking at people's messages. I mean, they do that anyway, but now they're telling you they're doing this. They are in your computer. They are seeing everything you're seeing. They are controlling all your money. Physical money hardly exists. I think banks hold only like 10% of everybody's wealth or something, and everything else is just digital, just earning interest, like percentages for nothing. And so many things get delayed so that payments get stuck somewhere. You know, like they say, oh, the banks need like to clear your payment like 3 to 5 days. 3 to 5 days? What the hell is that? What the hell? 3 to 5 days. You are earning interest on everybody's 3 to 5 days. What about like insurance companies and stuff? Like what you do is you put in money like this huge ass deposit if you haven't got a credit card, something like 500 or 1,000 euros just to rent a bloody car. And then what they do is they take this money from every single person who's like renting a car or something like that, or even who has like health insurance or who has any like house insurance or any bloody insurance. If you insure your pets, if you insure anything, if you insure your ass like J-Lo or something like that, if you insure anything, all these companies are just taking your money, putting them in a bank account, savings bank account. It's earning like loads of interest, and they're making money out of nothing. Like we are working our butts off to like earn everything, and these people are just getting money from money that is just sitting there.
What you talking about?
Let's move on. Okay. Another article. All new EU cars require a camera aimed at your face. Where that data goes is still anyone's guess. All right. ADDW became mandatory. ADDW is the Advanced Driver Distraction Warning System. It's all for your safety, guys. It's for safety. They are recording your face when you're driving for your own safety. Because if you get distracted, I mean, if you're like cars already have this thing, like newer cars, whereby if you don't move the wheel or if you don't press the pedal or something, there's like a ding or something like that. Like these are new ass technology. But a camera recording you, like what's next? A camera recording you when you're taking a shit? Like, I don't know. Like, why is that so different? What? I'm just saying. All right, let's move on. The European Conservative. Surveillance disguised as safety. Cars sold in Europe to spy on drivers 24/7. I mean, I don't know if you'll be driving 24/7, but maybe they mean that you're not driving in the day. All right, let's change topic now. Change topic. Okay, this is a fun video. Because we need to.
Absolutely. I got you. I got you. Wow, look at that, man. Wow. Let me see. You see these? Oh my God. Wow. This was for me. This is oh my God. Yeah, my grandfather used to wrestle here, man, in London. This is crazy. Peter Van in my view. Is the inspiration for Maui.
Yeah, exactly. And then actually for your mum.
For my mom.
I met your mum at Dallas WrestleMania.
Yeah.
We had a chat about your grandfather.
Wow.
And I told her about the magazines.
Yeah.
And she said she'd love to see him someday.
I'm going to carry these to her and I'm going to give these to her. I'm going to make it very ceremonial.
That'd be brilliant.
This is going to mean so much to her. It means so much to me.
All right, so that was The Rock. And you heard what he said. So let's move on. Disney's live-action Moana remake branded creatively bankrupt and soulless in first reactions. So we know The Rock, and he was also, I think, Maui in Moana. You know that song, You're Welcome. And it doesn't seem to be a happy return to Motunui. All right, don't know what that means. Disney's live-action Moana remake was largely met with skepticism when it first was announced in April 2023, and it doesn't seem to have won over many people with the first reactions. It's a live-action adaptation of the animation of the same name. And let's move on. Over here it says it's soulless, and a lot of people say it could be due to AI. Here it says the visuals are so flat with a heavy reliance on green screen use and CGI for so many of its locations, water effects, creatures, and even the music numbers that it all comes across as soulless and inauthentic, they added, before calling it a hollow retread. And here it says, some other guy says, it adds nothing to the animated original didn't already achieve. It often looks animated anyway. And Dwayne feels uncomfortable as Maui. And then there were some kinder remarks. I genuinely enjoyed it and stuff like that. And somebody says it, keeps a legacy. I mean, who knows? Like we've already talked about on this program, how AI is kind of making stuff soulless, and that a lot of AI stuff lack genuine human creativity and interaction and stuff like that. Let's move on. Here we have some news. Weird Al Yankovic pulled out of AI ad despite offer to make a nice pile of money. I can't be a poster boy for AI, he says. Wow. Ahead of a Syracuse, New York stop on his bigger and weirder tour, Yankovic revealed to Syracuse.com in an interview published in this week that he was offered a nice pile of money. Okay. He says he backed out once he realized the ad would involve AI. I'm not a fan of AI, he said. I'm not going to mention any names, but they told me it was for a business. It was a business software that would increase productivity. Okay, like any other AI is what's new. And he says, oh, yeah, well, yeah, sure, I could do that. And then a week before he's supposed to shoot it, he finds out it's AI. Then he canceled it. All right, let's move on. I mean, good for him for not just going with the money. He has his own opinions as well. All right, let's have a look. This is from a website called anthropocenemagazine.org. Scientists build a solar reactor that eats plastic bottles and burps out clear hydrogen at scale. A Cambridge University team made the device with simple materials using a paint sprayer, offering a possible dual fix for plastic pollution and dirty hydrogen production. We all know plastic is bad, like plastic, and not just the pollution, but also microplastics. Like if you've seen Seaspiracy, you know all about that. So over here it says, anyway, this is very, very interesting. Like if you want to read it, have a look. I just thought of mentioning it in case anyone is interested in this. Here it says, just give me a sec. It says a new device is significantly larger, about 1 meter square, and the team has now tested it under natural sunlight outside Cambridge's chemistry department. The researchers make the panels at room temperature using simple gear. Okay, but now the real question is any energy company going to buy up the patents for this and then make it disappear like a lot of energy, other forms of energy? Let's have a look. I mean, I sound like a conspiracy theorist saying this, but let's move on.
No, God, please, no.
A completely different article now from MIT News. Massachusetts Institute of Technology, well, the nerds in the States are. Hydrogen, clean fuel of the future, if we can find a cheap and clean way to ship it. Now, the thing is that hydrogen is extremely flammable, but if you can contain it, then it can be great. It's also in water. You separate the hydrogen and the oxygen. Why have we not made energy from seawater and had loads of salt on the side? I don't know. A team led by MIT Energy Initiative researchers developed by Hayat Cat tool, enabling decision makers to explore the cost and carbon emissions of their options for shipping hydrogen fuel to their site. Okay. And so people are questioning what's the fuel of the future? Is it hydrogen? And then, of course, we have a comment. Here we go again. Carbon emissions. Exactly. I mean, I never really think about global warming. Then summer hits and I'm dying. We've seen what happened this year in the north of Europe. Fuel of the future is all the hot air from the imbeciles in power selling us broken promises. Exactly. We're paying a fortune for it as well. Let's move on. This one is from South China Morning Post. China achieves microwatt milestone with self-reliant carbon-14 nuclear battery. It sounds super nerdy. I mean, that's what China's doing now, right? With all the Huawei, all the phones. This is what happens when a country makes everything. They turn into nerds. And cross-sector team says device which marks significant, sorry, I shouldn't say nerds. I should say intelligent people. Sorry, my bad. I apologize.
Ho, 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 ho.
Cross-sector team says device which marks a significant step in long-life power sources was developed without foreign tech or parts. Chinese researchers have developed a new generation nuclear battery that far surpasses its predecessor and marks a major step in long-life power sources. I mean, if they can make like devices with a nuclear battery that lasts forever, that would be great. And China, I think it's Beijing, where they can only sell like electric cars nowadays. I don't know if it's like some gimmick, like to reduce vehicles or something, or to make sure everybody's like investing in the local economy. But there's something going on. So this is like up and coming. Like I've always said, go nuclear. It's like those nuclear submarines that run without fuel. Exactly. We have a comment saying their weather is blasting them a new hole. Yeah, exactly. Over here from Reuters, US targets Chinese chip making. These are the silicone chips in everything from fridges to cars to phones. US targets Chinese chip making, which Taiwan was the number one in the world. But Trump got like manufacturers to also produce in the States now, with proposed export restrictions on ASML and others. Okay. There's a company, ASML. It's not ASL, okay, and it's not those weird sounds like people make on their microphones either. ASMR, that's right. That's so stupid. I don't know why people watch these things. I mean, okay. And so, yeah. Actually, this article is pretty old. It's from the 3rd of April. Basically, it says the US are trying to like restrict China in making stuff. I mean, ASML is this company over here. This is their website, changing the world 1 nanometer at a time. So ASML enables the world's leading chip makers to produce the microchips that power today's world. Now, what is all of this? Is this like a giant server? Because we've talked about on this channel that everything is going on the cloud, that people are not going to have hard drives in the future, that everything is just going to be stored remotely at one point or the other, and we'll just have screens. Anyway, very interesting. Very interesting. Let's also have a look. What do they do exactly? Semiconductor industry, scaling. This looks like the early calculators. Koro said he's heard they are even looking to store data in DNA now. Yeah, kind of like the blockchain they were saying a while. I mean, that's just weird stuff. Like, okay, ASML is the world's leading manufacturer of photolithography systems, whatever those are, used by the semiconductor industry to print complex integrated circuits. Again, nerdy stuff, like I said. All right, 1 second. Digital data storage is the. Let's have a look. There's like different types. Oh, here it says there's a challenge, and somebody said the logo of the company was printed. That printed the DNA. Let's have a look. DNA of things. The concept of DNA of things. Team of researchers in Switzerland, including Yaniv Ehrlich and Robert Grass. DNA. Okay, DNA of Things encodes digital data into DNA molecules, which are then embedded into objects. This gives the ability to create objects that carry their own blueprint, similar to biological organisms. All right, this is pretty insane. Pretty insane, like the way things are going. Very interesting. Probably has to do with like nanotechnology as well, like everything going
for that.
scale. All right, now I'm going into a deep dive now.
What advice do you give for the average person that's looking?
All right, so here's a video by the channel The Diary of a CEO. So we have this video, and I'm just going to talk a bit about this thing, if you would kindly allow me to, as if you have a choice. But anyway, so the episode theme is he talks about the future of finance. Is AI creating the next market bubble? Are investors ignoring warning signs? Will robots and AI reshape employment? He talks about the future of humans. Are fertility declines and environmental factors becoming a major societal challenge? This video kind of works well because it combines money, technology, society, the future. He talks a lot about investment. Like he talks his views on crypto, be it like, well, he's actually negative against it, but he also talks about like real estate. He talks about whether to hold cash or not. Let's have a look to see. We're going to look at like 3 segments within this video, and that I found were particularly interesting. So I'm going to nitpick here. Exactly. We have a comment saying, future of humans is messed up if we leave it in the hands of corrupt humans who believe they know what is best while messing up the entire world. Exactly.
So for the average person, what do they feel and how does it impact them when there's a market crash like the one that you're forecasting?
The high flyers will lay people off, and a lot of people will feel less rich. And as you acquire money in the stock market, a small fraction of that, 2 or 3%, is spent. And in reverse, it goes back. And people feel a little bit poorer, they spend a little less. So the economy tends to be under some stress. And if you look at the great bubbles breaking of the past, you find that it's followed by really tough times. 1929 is followed by the Great Depression that lasts for several years. And of course, there are many other factors that go into that. But it started with the crash in the market, which was in the end down about 80% or more. And then the next one was called the Nifty 50 because it was the 50 great companies like IBM and Coca-Cola. And that was in 1972, it peaked. It declined by 65% if you adjust for inflation. The recession associated with that was just about the worst since the Depression.
All right, so let's get into this. So the video is an interview with Jeremy Grantham on the Diary of a CEO. Grantham is a veteran investor known for warning about the previous market bubbles, including the dot-com crash and the housing bubble. The main theme of the interview is his argument that the current AI boom could be creating a major investment bubble alongside wider concerns about markets, jobs, inequality, demographics, and environmental health. Grantham argues that AI is generally transformative technology, but that doesn't mean every company connected to AI will succeed. His comparison is that many historical breakthroughs like railroads and the internet created huge opportunities, but also massive investment bubbles. So let's have a look at another segment that I found interesting, whereby he talks about robots, AI, and the future of jobs. So the conversion moves from AI software into robotics and automation. The concern is that AI-powered machines could begin replacing more human tasks, creating major changes in the labor market. So let's have a look. Let's have a look at humanoid robots.
Was expensive. Now we have both, and it costs pennies. So there's this boom in robotics. I say all this to ask the question. In a world where we have superintelligence and we have robots, you just have to pick the package.
Let me play that again.
So coming back to this point of the social, societal effect of AI, generally, robotics is exploding at the same time. We're seeing for the first time ever these humanoid robots, which now have intelligence because of AI, becoming very, very good. There was a video the other day of a company called Figure AI where they showed a humanoid robot on a production line sorting packages against a human. And the humanoid robot did it, I think I'm going to get this wrong, but it was in the region of 7 or 8 days. It stood there and
it was a lot faster than the human, and the human needed to go to sleep, as you would guess.
So there's this boom in robotics. I say all this to ask the question. In a world where we have superintelligence and we have robots, there must be, surely, significant job disruption.
Very likely that there will be significant job disruption. You know, one of the scary things about SpaceX is you should wish that it not work out. Because if it became a bargain, rather like Tesla long ago became a bargain, it will mean that we have done centers from space, beaming down power for chips and so on. The population of chip users has expanded, that robots are everywhere, their energy demand is massive beyond belief, and the world is a very, very dangerous place. I would much prefer them to fail, and the idea is to move much more slowly.
Yeah, so basically he's saying that previous technology replaced workers, but AI may replace parts of what makes humans valuable, knowledge and decision-making. So before, we had robots, but we didn't have AI. And now, as they're incorporating AI within robots, things have started to become interesting. And this is where a lot of jobs are being replaced. Now, the next segment that I'm going to show, this other part, is what to invest in during uncertainty. Grantham discusses his personal investment philosophy and argues that investors should prepare for possible market turbulence rather than assuming current trends will continue, because a lot of people are kind of think like what's happening today is going to be steady on. He's skeptical of extremely high valuations in US markets. He argues for diversification rather than betting everything on one sector. Areas discussed include international equities, bonds, real estates, precious metals. He warns that investors often become more confident right before major market corrections. Now, he is also old and doesn't really understand. Well, I wouldn't say doesn't understand, but he is against crypto. And Warren Buffett was against crypto, but a lot of people have made it big in crypto. But a lot of people have also lost in crypto due to rug pulls and things like that. And one question to ask after watching the following clip is preparing for a crash a smart risk management, or does fear cause people to miss opportunities? Let's have a look.
Salary or their wages.
Buy a broad-based index of non-US equities.
Non-US, that's really surprising to me.
For like 60% of your money, and then 5 or 10% in precious metals. And
it's interesting that he mentions non-US equities.
If it's convenient and sensible, hold a bit of real estate, and the rest I'd put in bonds.
Okay, so 5 or 10% in things like silver and gold.
Yeah.
A preference for either silver or gold?
No.
S&P 500. No, you said non-US.
Non-US.
This is so interesting because everybody says invest in US stocks.
Of course they do. They've been completely dominant for 20 years, completely kicking ass around the rest of the world. And then
That's some language from an old person.
In the last 12 months, emerging markets is up 65% now.
I guess he's a billionaire. He can do whatever he wants.
The S&P has done much better than I would have guessed, but it's only 25. That's a lot less than 65.
And I guess the strategy is quite important here as well, which is you're saying to hold these for a long time. Try not to buy and sell.
And try and look at where the cycle has been. And I can tell you, and you can see it for yourself, there has been an enormous cycle in favor of the S&P, in favor of the American market over the rest of the world. And do you think America is going to keep on gaining on the rest of the world? And of course, you're going to say yes now, because that's the flavor of this market. We think that what is good today will continue being good indefinitely, even though history tells you that is absolutely not the case. We live in a world that tends to rotate from one to the other. We believe in a world that extrapolates today's conditions, and you can easily prove that. The stock market.
All right, we have a comment saying billionaires don't have the same everyday worries regular people have because they create the problems that regular people worry about. That's true. I mean, take Elon Musk, for example. He's on a completely different planet, a completely different level. Okay, let's have a look. Here's an article from The Guardian. Okay, it's not related to the, well, it's related to the next video clip, which is from the previous video. So, U.S. Food and Drug Administration rejects petitions to set PFAS limits in food. PFAS are like the plastics. Everything is bad, toxic stuff. We've covered it in many videos of ours. And so over here it says the U.S. Food Administration has rejected a legal petition demanding it sets limits on toxic PFAS, forever chemicals in food. We have a video on this. Let's have a look. Forever chemicals. Let's search it over here. So over here, I just click the magnifying glass. Forever chemicals. Let's have a look if we can find the video. Here we are. Here's my co-host Bird. Let's let's enlarge it a bit. Forever chemicals. Breaking food. I wonder, that is such a good thumbnail. It's like Breaking Bad. And you know the burger over there? It's all like plastic. It's been there for 100 years, untouched. And the hidden poison, how PFAS and forever chemicals are contaminating our world. This is a hilarious video indeed. And anyway, let's go back to the article. So over here it says that they reject petition to set limits of PFAS in food, okay? And this is from the 8th of July. So it was yesterday. Let's go back to the video. And the guy talks about the fertility crisis, chemicals, and sperm count decline. And you're probably thinking, why is it important? Like who cares, right? But the discussion that he's had on investing shifts from finance into demographics and health. The conversation focuses on declining fertility rates and possible links between reproductive health and environmental factors. So the video discusses research showing declining sperm counts over recent decades. Possible contributing factors discussed are microplastics, certain chemicals, pesticides, endocrine disruptors. The argument is that environmental exposure may have long-term effects on human reproduction. The topic is debated scientifically, with researchers studying multiple possible causes, including lifestyle, obesity, environmental exposures, and other factors. A commonly cited concern is that continued declines could create demographic challenges. Are environmental changes creating a hidden demographic crisis? Let's have a look.
Let's talk about the chronic baby bust. I've been hearing a lot in the news. I think there were some articles that actually came out this week in the New York Times that talked about the decline in fertility rates and how young couples like me, I'm engaged to a young woman who, and me and her are trying to have a child now. It's not always a straight line to having a child. I think you kind of sold the idea that it is, that you just have sex without a condom and then a baby appears. But lots of young families and lots of my friends who are trying to have kids have gone for a couple of years trying and struggling to conceive. So much so that after doing this podcast, I started telling some of my friends, I actually think it's a good idea to start freezing your eggs, embryos, sperm, because if it is going to get increasingly harder, then there might need to be medical interventions.
Well, we know how it is in Europe. I mean, people can't afford anything, so they delay having kids. And then by the time they delay having kids, they can't have kids.
IVF, etc. for me and my friends, if we want to have families. But the problem is as well, at like 33
I have a comment saying it's the same in East Asia. I mean, it's probably all around the world now.
years old, if you look at the data, you're not at your peak necessarily in terms of fertility. You're somewhere coming down the slope as a man, but also as a woman. And so you're kind of fighting time a little bit.
It goes for both. Like before we were thinking like women have like a certain age, but keep watching this video and I'll show you something. Like it's also men.
Feels like.
Yeah, you are.
And I think my partner feels the same way, that we wish we were told a little bit earlier about family planning. And then I hear about these fertility issues that apparently are being caused by toxins and the sort of chemicals in our environment. You have spent...
I don't know about you guys, but when I was young, like they kept telling me use protection because you're going to have a kid too early and all this stuff. And now, I'm like middle-aged and it's like, what's up?
A long time thinking, writing, talking about this.
Yes.
I guess the first question is why? Why is a guy that's known for managing billions and billions and billions and hundreds of billions of dollars talking about fertility and this sort of baby bust?
Well, starting 27 years ago with the foundation, we were committed to start thinking about everything to do with the climate. And you're moving in the right circle then, because the next thing is we started to worry about the cataclysmic decline in insects. I don't know if you're aware of this, but
insects
appear to have dropped in biomass, the weight of the flying insects, by 50 to 75%.
Really?
In the last 60, 70 years. And E.O. Wilson.
I mean, this is such a great video. We have this like billionaire, this billionaire, and he's talking about like reproduction and insects. Like, who would have thought? Who would have thought?
The famous Ant-Man. He believed that, nature could handle the loss of humans easily, effortlessly, but it could not handle the loss of insects. That insects are, in a sense, he felt, and his fellow experts, he represented them as thinking the same way, that insects are the bedrock of nature. And if they start to go out of business, then the birds who feed on them and the amphibians, they start to decline, which they have done, also catastrophically. One thing leads to another, and the beetles are no longer recycling the forest floor, and eventually things won't grow, and no one to fertilize the plants, and the damage spreads. And he felt...
Right. Let's fast forward a little bit. So let's find out what's causing the decline, because let's see.
How long is that going to take for my sperm to basically not work?
As far as we can tell, our best guess is that in hunter-gatherer days, we had 180 million units per milliliter of sperm. And when the academics came in 1970, it was down to about 100. And today it's 35, okay?
So hunter-gatherers went from 180 million sperms or something, and now it's down to 35 million, from 180 to 35.
Also the quality and the motility, they call it.
Motility is how it moves, I think.
What?
Quality is probably the shape.
Had also declined, somewhat similarly. But it turns out, luckily for us, that we were over-engineered. I like to say like a great Victorian bridge. Nature doesn't take any risks, and you have more than you need. And it appears, again, a good guess is about 45 million units is what you need to be able to get pregnant without any difficulty. And that was hit.
And now we have 35, he said.
About 15 to 20 years ago.
Of course, it like decreases the older you get.
The number of young couples who needed help 15 or 20 years ago was nil, basically. And for this reason, that none of them had a chronic lack of sperm count in round numbers. And now the World Health says it's about 17%. Okay, 17% of young couples could use some help today, which means that instead
That's a lot. That's a lot. That's like 1 in 5.
of, just trying for a week or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, you're trying for months and months. And everybody knows people now who fall in that category.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on. And let's see what's causing it. I don't want to dwell too much. This is the last segment. So what's causing it? Chemicals, plastics, PFAS, and environmental exposure. The following section explores possible explanations behind declining fertility and sperm quality, focusing on environmental factors such as plastics, industrial chemicals, and persistent pollutants. The discussion connects modern chemical exposure with concerns about long-term human health. So he talks about microplastics. Are we living in a chemical environment our bodies never evolved to handle? He talks about endocrine disrupting chemicals. Could everyday products be affecting human biology in ways we are only beginning to understand? This is like in certain plastics, maybe in soaps, maybe like industrial chemicals, and PFAS, like non-stick coatings, waterproof materials, food packaging, industrial applications. And so there's like a bigger question: modern life versus human biology. Human life has changed dramatically in a short period. More synthetic chemicals, more processed foods, more pollution, less natural environments. And some researchers argue we need stronger monitoring and regulations. Others argue that separating the effects of individual chemicals is complex because humans are exposed to many factors simultaneously. And let's have a look.
And what is causing this? And how do we stop it?
Shana would say the environment around you of mainly plastics. Plastics are leaching toxins, and the particles of plastics you have in your brain and in your body, which we now know is quite substantial, are also leaching toxins. And these toxins are what they call endocrine disruptors. They mess with your hormones. You should expect them to lower your fertility. And yet, the people who specialize in fertility problems and write books about it, none of them mention toxicity. They mention the 100 perfectly solid reasons why people are choosing to have fewer children.
Endocrine disrupting chemicals like phthalates, which are found in cosmetics, shampoos, food packaging, etc. They actively lower testosterone production in male fetuses during the first trimester, permanently stunting reproductive capacity before birth.
Yes.
BPAs, which are what they call biphospholates.
Yes, something like that.
Used to make plastics hard, line tin cans, and coat thermal store receipts. They are synthetic estrogens. They flood the male body with female hormone signals, crashing sperm count and motility. PFAs, forever chemicals used in non-stick pans, Teflons, waterproof rain jackets, and stain-resistant carpets. They break down in nature, accumulate in human blood, and are directly linked to lower sperm volume. And then the microplastics you talked about, the Trojan horse. One of the shocking things that I read was that it's been discovered that they are physically embedded in human placentas.
Yeah.
Exactly. We covered this before it was cool. This guy has like 8.3 million views, and this was posted on the 25th of June, and we posted our video like 8 months ago.
Isn't that amazing?
Breast milk and human testicles. And there was a major study I think we all heard about in 2024 that found microplastics in 100% of human testicular tissues tested. 100%. And lastly, biological stresses. So me and you being sat down on these chairs heats our testicles to a point where the sperms die. Heated car seats, hot laptops, they actively cook the sperm. And lastly, obesity.
Yes. And of course, smoking you somehow slipped through the net.
Yeah.
But there is a whole other branch, pesticides on your food. Now, if you give me time, I'll tell you about these 2 little studies. They're very small, and you might...
Hang on a sec. Let me just make sure.
Ignore them, except they were done by Harvard. And in the fetus, it turns out, is 100 to 1,000 times more vulnerable than perhaps the worst droughts and the hottest weather.
Anyway, this is, in my opinion, a fantastic video. Check it out. It's on Diary of a CEO, and it's called Billionaire's Warning. I'm selling. The crash is already here. But he also, I think he says to not hold cash or anything like that. So let's take a 5-10 minute break, and then I'll do some reactions. And yeah, be sure to subscribe, like, leave a comment. We're simultaneously streaming on YouTube, on Rumble, and on Kick. So yeah, don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back.
Every new day, every new day.
We are live.
Transmission established.
Broadcast begins.
Every new day.
The signal remains. We are live. We are live.
Every new day.
We are live.
Every new day. Every new day. We are live.
Transmission established. Broadcast begins.
Every new day.
The signal remains.
NTV. Live. Live. Live.
We are live.
Every new day.
We are live.
Every new day.
We are live.
Every new day. Every new day. We are live. Every new day.
We are live.
Every new day.
We are live.
Every new day. Every new day.
I'm here to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of gum. Welcome back to the ENDstream. This is MTV, simultaneously streaming on YouTube, on Rumble, and on Kick. Leave us a follow, leave a comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And yeah, let's just jump into the React section. So, what do we have? Over here, why won't it rot? You've probably seen millions of these videos, but let's watch another one. Lowering the volume.
It's in a box in my closet. This is the sack that it came in, and it was advertising a NASCAR race in 1996. So this dates the hamburger in its sack to 24 years old now. The French fries look like they maybe could have fallen under your seat a month or so ago. They've never rotted or decayed. The hamburger itself, the bread has never molded. The meat.
Look at it. It's 26 years old.
Has never rotted. It's never even broken. It's completely intact. So, 24-year-old hamburger.
24.
Not sure what would happen if you ate it, though.
My goodness. All right, well, make your own conclusions. Next. Sorry. All right, some news. Man arrested after, okay, this is from the 27th of June, 2026. So like a couple of weeks old news. Man arrested after giving world's remote island can of Coke shares what really happened. So in the world, there's an island with these like indigenous people, and they live by themselves, and it's apparently illegal to go over there and stuff. And this guy went there with a can of Coke. You've probably heard of this. Mikhailo Polyakov, 25, spent weeks in an Indian jail in wake of the dangerous stunt. And a year on from his stint in an Indian jail, the man who tried to gift the world's, it was over a year ago, most isolated tribe a can of Coke is sharing his side of the story. I'm curious, was he sponsored by Coke? Like, what's the real story? What's the real story? So, okay, what else does it say? He tried his luck in the hopes of introducing members of the Sentinelese tribe to modernity and history with a can of fizzy pop. To be honest, if anyone goes near there, they actually get attacked by these guys like throwing spears at them. Polyakov landed himself in hot water in March last year after journeying to the restricted territory in a blow-up dinghy while well aware of the consequences he could face. So you F around, you'll find out. That's what he did. And yeah, we have a comment from my co-host who says he's like Michael Rockefeller in the 60s. Oh yeah, wasn't he eaten alive by indigenous people? Don't quote me on that. So anyway, this guy, he estimated that there was a 30 or 40% chance that he might be apprehended by authorities for his antics, but took the chance anyway. Oh, so the Michael Rockefeller was the grandson of John D. Rockefeller. I get you. Wow, okay. So anyway, back to this guy. The American tourist documented his high-stakes voyage. Well, he documented it to like make money or something, and filmed himself approaching the North Sentinel Island before showing what happened when he reached the shore. So he spent an hour miling around the sand without running into any tribe members, who notoriously don't react well to unwelcome visitors, before deciding he'd had enough. And then the group who lived there considered him to be particularly vulnerable. Group who lived there considered, well, yeah, these people on the island are vulnerable to outsiders because of lack of immunity from illnesses. Exactly. Well, they're often described as being hostile. Wow, like badass people. but rightfully so. I mean, they don't want anything else. To be honest, leave them alone. Right, let's move on.
I, Malik Bey, generated $82,000 in total revenue. $82,000. Yeah. And this month, I am on track to generate $71,000 in total revenue. And it's so crazy because I was depressed in January.
What does he do to get that much money? Does he have like an OnlyFans? Asking, not for me, but you know, I'm straight. Just saying.
But I didn't even realize I made $80,000.
IRS locking in for their cut. Exactly. Like on that bill, it said something like 62 or 64. Like, if I saw correctly, did they just like shave off 20,000?
I think that 80 was at like 50 or 60% profit margin though in 1 month.
That's the thing. People are risking a lot of stuff to get money, and yet the IRS and tax people are just getting it for free by default.
It's very impressive. And that means if I can do 80,000 in 1 month, do 70,000 in 1 month, do 67,000 in another month, those are my top 3 months back to back. And I've never invested into marketing. That's unbelievable. My name is Malik.
Does he say what he does? He works in tech, Meta, LinkedIn. I don't know what he does. Does he do anything? Give me a sec. Yeah, crazy IRS. It just takes so much money. It's the same for taxes in a lot of countries. Let's have a look at the website that he's linked. Oh, there's no website he's looking for. Results. To be honest, I would urge people online a bit of caution when people are like flaunting money. A lot of the time they try and sucker in like investors and stuff. Yeah, we don't know. So everybody is like hooked on the World Cup, and we'll show a World Cup video in a second. Hang on. Do we have that video of the World Cup? Let me just check. World Cup in inverted commas. Right. Let's have a look. I think it's here. Okay, so Brazil lost to Belgium or something like 4-1 in the World Cup. Let's have a look at how people in Brazil are reacting to this. Apparently in Brazil, I mean, like in a lot of countries, football is a religion, but in Brazil, it is like the main thing of their country. So it's like trendy to like throw your TV out.
Brasil de bosta!
All right. Okay, so my reaction to that is like the Office face reaction of what's his name? This one. That's my reaction to this.
God!
But aside from the World Cup, in the summertime, like people watch tennis as well. I don't watch tennis, but let's have a look at this. Watch carefully.
Mr. Gigante is requesting.
This guy is called Mr. Gigante. Like, did he name himself that? Like, so he can get the women? I don't know. Mr. Gigante.
A video review to check
It's all about balls.
if the ball went through the net. It went down? Yeah. The serve or the what?
No, the return.
So you
I love the accent of the ref. It's like, so did they go of what? What?
Ladies and gentlemen,
It's like Clouseau from the Big Panther.
Mr. Gigante is requesting
Here's
a
that.
video review to check if the ball went through the net. It went down? Yeah. The serve or the what?
No, the return.
So you want to check it on the video review?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Gigante is requesting a video review to check if the ball went through the net.
Like the VAR.
Okay.
All right. So what happened was the ball actually went through the net. Exactly. What was disgusting. Well, some people find it hilarious, but I find it like absolutely disgusting when people are making these orgasm sounds. And in fact, they had recorded these high-profile tennis players, like 2 women and a man, and they had like mics on them, you know, ones you attach to you, and they were going like, and and the guy couldn't like hold himself from laughing, so he let the 2 women play, but it was just like over the top. Right, let's see what else is going on from people. Like this is the news, you know, most people watch. People. Man falls into non-flushing toilet while trying to retrieve his sunglasses, prompting multiple agency rescue. All right, so I'm not going to watch that ad. A man was stuck to a vault toilet for up to 15 minutes before was rescued at a camp in Central California on Sunday, June 20th. The person fell in while trying to retrieve his sunglasses. He was decontaminated and didn't report any major injuries. How does somebody just fall into a toilet? Like, the call for assistance went out, and yeah, the unmanned man was in the small space for up to 50 minutes. We know. Law enforcement, camp edition staff, and personnel responded. He continued and were able to safely get him out and stuff. It was unclear if he was able to find the sunglasses. All right. Anyway, other news. Dua Lipa, the famous pop singer, opens a banned books library in one of the most beautiful bookshops. So let's have a look where this is. So it's called Manifesto Library at Livraria Lello in Porto, inviting readers to engage in reading, debate, and critical thought. I mean, I think it's kind of important for books to not be censored. Like, these are just censored books. Like, you remember what happened in World War II with like people throwing books all over the place? And she describes Manifesto as a dream partnership between Livraria Lello and the Service 95 Book Club, founded in 21, blah, 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 blah. And for some reason, The Handmaid's Tale is on this list. I don't know if that's banned or not. And here's a list of some books that were banned. I'll just zoom in. Don't know if they're censored in general, but I think it's... they also have like books of propaganda and stuff. They have like Clockwork Orange, Brave New World, Animal Farm. And these are like common books. They're everywhere. I don't know why the hell. Maybe they're just advertising for her. I don't know. Let's move on. There's a video here. Why you feel someone is staring at you.
You are sitting in a cafe. Your coffee is warm. Your phone is in your hand. You are not thinking about anything. You look up, and someone across the room is staring directly at you. How did you know? You did not see them. You did not hear them. Your eyes were pointed at a screen.
Has ever happened to you where you turn around and there's someone who looks at you like dead in the eyes? Could be coincidence. I don't know. This video is like some cartoon animation thing saying that could be waves between bodies or like some intuition thing or interaction. I kind of like the cartoony things and the fact that, you know, what it talks about. Like, why is it happening? Like, is there something more to this? Like, there could be like different theories. And yeah, it's kind of interesting. If anybody is interested in this and has free time, it's by a channel called One.Key. Why you feel someone staring at you. Last 10 minutes. And then I saw a couple of videos on food, whereby over here is the chef who's popular online called Nick DiGiovanni, with 31 million views on this particular video, which was posted on the 13th of June. And over here, I'll just play the beginning.
Tasting the most exotic foods from all around the world, including this $2,500 Tasmanian crab, this $25,000 caviar, a six-figure trio of the rarest lobsters on Earth, and so much more. All starting with this $1 item.
I can't wait. So on this video, which I find pretty fascinating, is that they try out different food that are worth or cost different amounts of money. And they show like rare food, so stuff that's not very common. And if people have anything in common in the world, that's food, like eating food, trying new flavors, discovering things, seeing what's interesting or not. So if anybody has free time and they're interested in like food and likely expensive food that they will never be able to afford, check out this video. It's really fun. They have a lot of like different things. And Nick DiGiovanni on this video is yeah, I'll have to wrap it up soon. I'm being warned by my co-host. So Nick DiGiovanni is accompanied, that's the word, by Guga, who has his own channel. And this guy tries out different countries, and he is a chef himself. I mean, he keeps posting videos about steaks and stuff all around the world. The previous chef is Nick DiGiovanni, an American chef, cookbook author, and YouTube creator known for his cooking videos and challenges. He has a Guinness Book World Record for different things. He's finished third on season 10 of MasterChef USA. He's a student at Harvard, different things. This is the guy on the left. He's very well spoken and he's quite cool. But the other guy, Guga, over here, like he has different videos on his channel about like visiting different countries, trying steaks, like criticizing like Gordon Ramsay and different things. And he openly states his true opinion. So he has this video, which I saw, where he went to Japan and he tries out different food and like seafood and meats and wagyu and also street food. And sometimes he likes some things, whereas other times he doesn't like things. And for most of us in the world, at least in Europe and the States, a lot of us might not actually get the chance to go to Japan, or if we do, maybe once in a lifetime. A lot of interesting stuff at different venues and with a lot of interesting flavors. And he also explores how much things cost, expensive things, but also cheap things, and whether some things are worth it as opposed to not, because sometimes there could be something cheap which is worth more than something expensive. And let's have a very brief look at this. Let's look at something. What shall we look at? Ooh, I haven't seen this part, but hang on, let's move on. Where is this? Oh, this was the bit. So this was one of my So he went to a restaurant where there's the chef. We have to book way in advance, where the chef cooks right in front of him. And yeah, side note, Japanese diet is one of the most healthiest in the world.
Oh, a lot of butter. A lot of butter. Oh.
To be honest with you, the star is his demi-glaze sauce. He's just lather a good amount on it. And that man goes right back into the show.
He can toss.
Look, the fried rice is good, but you don't go to Kichi Kichiyamu Rice for that. It is all about the egg. This man has mastered his craft.
Oh. Needs more salt or something, but it's good. The demi glaze is not that powerful. I'm going to enjoy the rest of this amo rice.
That was a good dinner. But if you are planning on going to Kichi Kichi Amo Rice, make sure you make reservation ahead of time. It is not easy to get in. Unlike the very next restaurant I went to, which is a little hole in the wall. This one had no one in, but it's where I had the best experiences.
So good. Beef and rice, that's all you need. Savages. Absolute savages.
So yeah, a lot of restaurants have these things where people cook on their own, like depending on how much they want to cook stuff. So thanks for watching the end stream. Remember, we're simultaneously streaming on YouTube, Rumble, and on Kick. Our social media is on X, Instagram, Discord, and we're also on TikTok. Be sure to follow everything. The links are in the description of our channels. Please don't forget to hit the notification bell on YouTube. So support us, support NTV, the real, raw, rational, independent media. Thanks for tuning in. And I want to thank my co-host and everybody else on the team, like working behind the scenes. You're all fantastic. And I just want to thank you for having patience with me. And, but yeah, tell everyone about NTV, tell your husband, tell your wife, tell your kids, tell your cousins, tell your grandmas, tell your nephews, tell your colleagues, tell everyone about NTV. We are every new day. Thanks for watching the end stream. And yeah, my co-host Bird might stream on Tuesday or else I'll cover it. But yeah, stay tuned because we have so many videos coming out. And yeah, thanks for watching. This is
NTV.